1/4 of Japanese banks can use XRP. Also, you may never believe what Chris Larsson simply stated about Gary Gensler. You need to watch this. Also, India is using some type of principal bank digital forex era that has to do with Ripple. We're going to go through all of that and plenty much greater in this video. Welcome, I am Crypto Sensei, helping you in your crypto journey. Let's get into the news and statistics. If you found out something, if you want the channel, please consider liking the video, sharing the video, and subscribing to the channel in case you aren't already. Let's do it. So here we cross. Let's kick it off with this as some type of conference. You have XRP emblem within the historical past. Jack Rippler put this out. Japan's banks are preparing to undertake XRP for seamless transactions. Listen closely because it is precisely what it says right here. Actually, Japan is a completely very cash-oriented society, surprisingly, yeah. Humans think we are a form of advanced, however, essentially by the manner. I come from Japan, however, the proportion of digital bills of all of the transactions is clearly handiest 19%. So it's genuinely type of national agenda to increase digital payments. And the authorities encourage banks to innovate so as to increase the virtual bills ratio. And so I didn't recognize how many banks or extraordinary banks there were in Japan. So I requested Perplexity, and here's the data that it kicked up. So as of 2024, Japan has approximately 218 banks in general, which includes various forms of monetary institutions. This parent encompasses, you've got Citibanks, predominant banks operating across the US, regional banks, 62 banks that serve the public and neighborhood regions, and specialized banks that control except as true within a kingdom. So it is thrilling, right? You have these nearby banks, I believe, are perhaps out of extra populated city areas. All right, so this has been floating around due to the fact some days in the past. I wanted to play this and speak to you approximately it because Chris Larsson simply placed something out and it speaks extraordinarily. But we got to set it up, Guy. We were given to tee it up. Let's pass. Mr. Gensler, you are additionally busy in parallel with the crypto industry. I suppose there is consensus at the eve of an election that every one of those events involved in accountable need to hammer out some sort of recent jurisdictional framework for crypto regulators to make some progress on settling oversight of that industry. Can you communicate to us approximately the work you are doing there, and in case you're making any development in that subject? Look, there may be nothing incompatible approximately. The ledger generation, you recognize it's just this Halloween. It is going to be 16 years since Toshi Nakamoto wrote that white paper. So glad candy 16 in per week. There's nothing incompatible about a ledger era, decentralized ledger technology, and the securities laws. And it is important that within the securities markets that investors get to determine on their investments, but they get the right disclosure that we protect towards conflicts of hobby, etc. And we're going to hold to do this at the Securities and Exchange Commission. If a market's ever going to have believe, it additionally desires to return into compliance in a number of this field. And we've visible the demanding situations on this field in which a variety of people have lost money. Regular traders have misplaced money in a subject. It's now not presenting the essential disclosure, approximately their tasks, about those funding contracts and these schemes, and that it is a subject that has loads of conflicts inside the center of it. All proper. When this dude receives fired, regardless of who wins the election, this man's long gone, right? When this man is formally long past, we're going to have a celebration on this channel. Bring the champagne. We will toast to Gary Gensler leaving the CC. Also, there's this clip. I suppose this is speaking of disclosures. One disclosure from former President Trump is that he could fireplace you in the long run, unsurprising to you, I'm certain. So, Caroline, I'll assist you to visit your subsequent question. A lot to get on with. And your term is what until June 2026, but will it run until then? Many sense that perhaps not. June 2026, kill us all proper now. I cannot consider any other 2.5 years or no, a large year and a half of Gary Gensler. Oh, painful. No, I'm excited that Biden isn't walking for re-election. Okay, regardless of who wins in like 8 or 9 days, we are going to likely have a new administration on the SEC, thank God. So Chris Larsson simply put this out. Listen to his phrases, approximately Gary Gensler, when I simply played those clips. Let me just say, I think Gary Gensler has been the worst public servant that we've ever had on this USA. It's been exceptionally negative to this USA, but appearance I assume we want to be without a doubt thoughtful right here. I study what former Reid Hoffman said, approximately Lena, that spectacularly backfired proper. If something, that probably ensures Lena Khan remains in that role. And we ought to argue the things that she's performed, a few properly, a few bad, but I'm now not going to empower Gary Gensler to have any excuse on what happens with his destiny. So I'm no longer going to comment on that. And so he has donated, I assume, like $10 or $12 million to her campaign over the previous few months. So allows go to this. When we're speaking approximately who ought to replace Gary Gensler, I assume Hester Pierce might be likely the exceptional man or woman, right? She's crypto-friendly. She knows the industry. She is aware of how terrific America is and how big crypto may be in America. Now, they may blow out the whole commission. I don't know. But in the event that they don't blow it out, I would really like to look her take a higher role. I don't know when you have a private opinion on who you observe have to be the head pinnacle job on the SEC, but I surely like needs to be one area actual brief. You commissioner, you're visible by means of the general public as greater, extra pro-crypto, or at the least much less anti-crypto than a few different members of the SEC. Why do you suspect, and correct me if I'm wrong, but if I'm making this assumption, but why do you observe it is important for the nation to adopt greater seasoned crypto pleasant stances and regulations? Well, I suppose as I mentioned, it's no longer approximately being pro or anti-crypto. It's about saying I'm a regulator and my activity is to adjust in a way that permits the markets to parent out what they need and what they don't want. And what my grievance has been is that we've taken a decidedly anti-crypto technique to the way we interpret our rules. And I suppose it really is absolutely wrong for us to do that. I suppose we want to go again to being neutral, and which means we do work with humans and assist them parent out how to accomplish what they are trying to accomplish at the same time as final constant with our securities law. Okay, so simply, quickly, I have to give you this little bit of context here. How it generally works proper is beneath Gary Gensler. He's been law by enforcement, which means that companies, he said, Gary Gensler famously said, are available and sign up, you already know we will work with you. And then companies are available and sign up, ask, hey, are we compliant? What do we want to do? They need to work with the SEC to make certain that they do not break any rules and to restoration, whatever they need to. And Gary Gensler used that to go after the ones agencies in place of announcing, hey, you need to repair this and this. And so Hester Pierce, that's what she's addressing right here. And she's announcing that we need to paintings with organizations in preference towards them. And I think this is the manner that this ought to this task. She need to have an outlook due to the fact, in case you're no longer running with the largest leaders in blockchain era, they may be all going to go offshore. Right, Americans, we pride ourselves at being the nice at everything, right? Baseball, basketball, technology, AI, proper. Blockchain is a key essential piece of the destiny of the way price tokenized value, any form of money and foreign money facts, encrypted facts is stored, and there may be 100 other use instances, right, that embody all that. But you get what I'm announcing proper? We need any individual in America. This is going to lead with this kind of notion method that is going to work with groups instead of regulation. Goals, and we ought to do that. It would no longer be hard for us to do. I suggest it would require a few paintings, but it is not possible. And I assume it is the task of a regulator to take new information and situations and to work with humans to figure out how they're healthy in the present day framework, and then allow the public to make their personal choices about whether or not they want things or no longer. This is America, and those must be loose to make their personal alternatives. And so that's the sector that I'm hoping that we will create with a more neutral regulatory framework. I assume she's going for the pinnacle task. The manner that she's just speaking and the way that she includes herself, I assume she might be, I suppose she would be first rate. All proper videos walking a little bit longer right here. I'm going to make some other ones. So right here we've got, this is Fintech Festival in India. This gentleman is talking, that is 27 seconds. It says banks in India are currently undertaking non-public ledger tests, the use of XRP to facilitate green money transfers between banks. Bank A, XRP, bank